Two simple words can make a woman think about you long after the conversation ends. Not because you used some flashy pickup line, not because you acted louder than other men, and not because you tried to impress her, but because those two words quietly trigger something deeper inside her mind. Curiosity, emotion, tension. Most men never learn this. They think attraction comes from talking more, proving more, explaining more. So they overload conversations with stories, achievements, opinions, and endless details about themselves. And what happens? The woman smiles politely. She responds. She enjoys the conversation, but she forgets it an hour later. Because facts rarely create fascination. Emotion does. Older men who truly understand women know something younger men often miss. Attraction is not built through information. It is built through imagination. The most attractive men are not always the loudest men. They are the men who know how to make a woman feel something without forcing it. And today, we are going to break down the two words that quietly create that effect. Two words that spark emotional imagery. Two words that make your presence feel intentional. Two words that create curiosity, tension, and emotional depth without sounding rehearsed or manipulative. More importantly, I will show you why these words work psychologically, how mature men use them naturally, and why women respond differently when they come from calm masculine energy instead of desperation. Stay with me until the end, because the final section explains how to combine both words together in a way that makes attraction linger long after you walk away. Let's get into it. Number 1. Most men destroy attraction by talking too much. Let's be honest, folks. Most men do not lose attraction because they say the wrong thing. They lose attraction because they never stop talking. They explain too much. They fill every silence. They overshare too early. They try too hard to prove themselves. And every extra sentence slowly drains tension out of the interaction. Take Victor, 58, from Chicago. Successful contractor. Divorced. Confident in business. Nervous around women he actually likes. He meets a woman named Diane, 54, at a wine event. She's elegant, intelligent, emotionally sharp. Victor immediately starts trying to impress her. He talks about his investments, his vacation homes, his gym routine, his divorce lessons, his relationship standards. Diane listens politely, but emotionally, nothing moves. Why? Because Victor gave her information without giving her emotion. He left nothing for her imagination. And imagination is where attraction begins. Now imagine Victor handles the conversation differently. Diane asks if he enjoys traveling. Instead of listing 10 destinations, he pauses slightly and says, "There's one place I visited that completely changed the way I think about life." Then he stops talking. Now something changes. Diane leans in. Where was it? That pause created curiosity. Older men who understand attraction do not rush to explain themselves. They understand that mystery creates emotional tension. Marcus Aurelius believed discipline applied not only to actions, but also to speech. A calm man does not feel pressure to fill silence. And silence handled confidently is attractive. When Victor stops over-explaining, Diane starts investing effort. She asks more questions. She studies him more closely. She becomes emotionally involved in discovering him. That is the shift most men miss. The more you try to prove your value, the less valuable you appear. But when you speak with restraint, your presence gains weight. If this resonates, write this below. I speak with intention. Because the next lesson explains the hidden emotional trigger that changes how women experience attraction completely. Number 2. Attraction begins in emotion, not logic. Most men approach attraction logically. If I explain my value clearly enough, she'll understand why I'm a great man. No, my friend. Attraction does not start inside logic. It starts inside emotion. A woman is not emotionally moved because you listed your accomplishments perfectly. She becomes emotionally moved because of how she feels around you. That feeling is created through emotional imagery, subtle tension, and intentional language. And this is where mature men separate themselves from average men. Average men report information. Experienced men create experiences. Take Raymond, 61, from Seattle. He's having dinner with a woman named Julia, 56. She mentions she loves quiet places near water. Most men would respond with something flat like, "Oh yeah, I know a few nice places." Forgettable. But Raymond says, imagine sitting near the ocean late at night when everything finally gets quiet. Now her brain shifts. She's no longer listening logically. She's feeling emotionally. That is the power of emotional imagery. When you activate imagination, you activate emotion. And emotion creates attraction. Stoic men understand this deeply. Epictetus taught that perception shapes emotional experience. So when you guide perception calmly, you guide emotional energy. Raymond does not overwhelm the moment. He says less, but every word carries more weight. And women notice that immediately. If this resonates, comment. I create emotion. Because now we move into the first word that changes attraction completely. Number 3, the first word is imagine. Here it is, folks. The first word is imagine. Simple, but psychologically powerful. Most men speak in plain facts. I went there. That place was beautiful. You'd probably enjoy it. Safe. Flat. Forgettable. But the moment you say imagine, you stop reporting information and start directing emotional experience. Take Adrian, 60, from Miami. He's talking with a woman named Sophia during dinner. She asks about his favorite trip. Instead of saying, I visited Italy once. It was beautiful. He says, imagine walking through a quiet street in Rome after midnight, when the whole city finally slows down. Now Sophia is emotionally inside the moment. She's not hearing about Rome. She's mentally experiencing it. And the brain responds strongly to imagined experiences. Emotion activates. Curiosity activates. Connection activates. That is why this word works so powerfully. Older men who understand women know that attraction deepens when a woman feels included emotionally instead of simply informed intellectually. Adrian continues calmly. Imagine finding a tiny restaurant nobody else notices. Again, subtle imagery. No pressure. No performance. No fake alpha behavior. Just emotional direction. And notice something important. His tone stays calm. That matters. Because calm delivery makes imagination feel safe. A desperate man using emotional imagery feels manipulative. A grounded man using emotional imagery feels magnetic. That difference changes everything. If this resonates, right, I spark imagination. Because now we are going deeper into how to make these scenes emotionally unforgettable. Number 4, create scenes, not conversations. Let's take this further, folks. The real power is not the word itself. The real power is the scene you create after using it. Most men describe things. Very few men create emotional experiences through conversation. And women remember experiences far longer than information. Take Eric, 57, from California. He's talking to a woman named Natalie about beaches. Most men say, that beach is beautiful. Eric says, imagine standing there barefoot at sunset while the air cools down and the waves are the only thing you hear. Now she feels it. Notice what happens psychologically. You activate it. Sight, sound, temperature, emotion. That creates immersion. And immersion creates emotional tension. Marcus Aurelius wrote that life is shaped by perception. When you shape perception calmly, you shape emotion naturally. Here's the key most men miss. Do not over-explain the scene. Give just enough detail for her imagination to finish the rest. That unfinished tension keeps the interaction alive inside her mind later. And this is critical. The scene must feel emotionally grounded. Not fantasy overload. Not fake romance. Just subtle emotional atmosphere. That is what mature women respond to most strongly. If this resonates, right, I create tension. Because now we move into the second word that gives your attraction real emotional weight. Number 5, the second word is because. Now we get to the second word. And psychologically, this word is incredibly powerful. The word is because. Most men make statements. You should come. You'd enjoy this. I like being around you. But when you add because, the statement gains structure and emotional authority. For example, come with me because I think you'd appreciate the atmosphere. Immediately stronger. Why? Because the human brain naturally responds to reasons. Reasons create trust, and trust stabilizes attraction. Take Leonard, 63, from Arizona. He's talking with a woman named Claire. Instead of saying, I like talking to you, he says, I like talking to you because you actually notice details most people ignore. Now Claire feels seen specifically, not generically complimented. That creates emotional depth. Epictetus believed disciplined speech reflected disciplined thinking. And women feel that immediately, because signals intentionality. It tells her, I'm not speaking randomly. I mean what I say. That grounded certainty becomes attractive. But here is the key. Do not over-explain. One reason is enough. Strong men do not ramble. They speak precisely. If this resonates, right, I speak with purpose. Because now we combine both words together. And this is where fascination really begins. Number 6. Combine both words together. This is where attraction changes completely, folks. Imagine creates emotional imagery. Because creates emotional meaning. When combined correctly, they create fascination. Take Marcus, 59, from Denver. He's walking with a woman named Elena after dinner near the harbor. He says calmly, imagine sitting out here later this summer when the nights are warmer. Elena smiles. Now he adds, because you seem like someone who appreciates quiet moments. That combination changes everything. First, he activated emotion. Then he personalized it. Now she feels emotionally included inside the experience. Not pressured, not chased, included. And mature women respond deeply to that feeling. Marcus never overdoes it. He does not seek validation afterward. He stays grounded. That calm certainty is what makes the moment linger. Most men either create emotion without structure, or give logic without emotion. The rare man creates both simultaneously. And that balance creates attraction that feels emotionally safe and emotionally exciting at the same time. That combination is powerful. If this resonates, comment. I create fascination. Because the next lesson explains how curiosity slowly turns into emotional craving. Number 7. Curiosity becomes craving. Curiosity is the spark. Craving is the emotional fire. Most men know how to briefly get attention. Very few know how to create emotional anticipation. And anticipation is one of the strongest psychological forces in attraction. Take Henry, 62, from Nashville. He creates subtle emotional imagery during conversations with a woman named Olivia. But here's what he does differently. He never rushes. He creates tension slowly. He says, imagine disappearing to a quiet mountain town for a weekend. Then pauses. Then adds calmly, because you seem like someone who needs space to breathe sometimes. Now Olivia does something important psychologically. She begins imagining herself emotionally connected to him in future moments. That is how attachment quietly begins. Not through pressure, through repeated emotional association. And because Henry remains emotionally calm, the curiosity feels safe instead of chaotic. That matters deeply. Women do not emotionally attach to instability long-term. They attach to grounded emotional tension. That balance creates fascination. If this resonates, comment. I create intrigue. Because now we move into the final layer, the combination of fantasy and certainty. Number 8. Blend fantasy with certainty. Here is what truly separates experienced men from average men. Average men fantasize loudly. Grounded men fantasize calmly. And calm fantasy feels believable. Take Robert, 64, from Dallas. He's talking with Denise, 58. He says, imagine escaping somewhere warm for a weekend when life gets too loud. Pause. Then calmly. Because you deserve somewhere peaceful once in a while. Notice the difference. No desperation. No overselling. No cheesy performance. Just grounded emotional imagery delivered with certainty. That combination creates emotional safety. And emotional safety allows attraction to deepen naturally. Marcus Aurelius believed masculine power came through self-command. That applies here too. Your emotional state matters more than your actual words. If your energy feels needy, the words collapse. If your energy feels calm, the words gain gravity. That is why emotional control is attractive. Not because women consciously analyze it. Because emotionally, it feels stable. And stability with tension becomes magnetic. If this resonates, right, I stay grounded. Because now we bring everything together. Number 9. 2 words that make you unforgettable. Let's close this properly, folks. The 2 words are simple. Imagine. Because. But the real power is not the words themselves. The real power is the emotional state behind them. Most men speak to impress. Grounded men speak to create emotional experience. And women remember emotional experience far longer than information. Take Samuel, 65, from Scottsdale. One evening after dinner, he says quietly to a woman named Karen, "Imagine escaping somewhere warm in the middle of winter." She smiles. Then he calmly adds, "Because life moves too fast to stay predictable forever." That moment stays with her. Why? Because he did not chase the reaction. He planted emotional imagery calmly and let her imagination continue the work later. That is fascination, not loud attraction, lingering attraction. Today we talked about why most men destroy tension by overspeaking, how emotional imagery activates attraction, why imagine triggers curiosity, why because it creates trust and authority, and how combining both creates emotional fascination that lasts beyond the conversation. This is not manipulation. This is emotional precision. And older men who master this become unforgettable not because they talk the most, but because they understand exactly how to make a woman feel something meaningful in very few words. If this video sharpened your awareness, subscribe for more lessons on Stoicism, emotional control, masculine communication, and female psychology. Stay grounded, stay disciplined, and remember this. The strongest presence in the room is usually the man who speaks calmly, but leaves the deepest emotional impression.